Hello gamers, I am Mike TheZorch, and this is the video game news for Gamers Bay for the week of December 18th, 2021. And let's get to our first news story of the day. Final Fantasy XIV is suffering from success. In fact, it's so successful that they've had to suspend sales. The game's been suffering from serious congestion, with some servers having a queue as high as 7,000 during the daytime, and a few dozen at night, maybe as high as 20 to 30 during nighttime hours. Now, Yoshi P has issued a statement on this. What happened is a combination of several things. One, he's apologized for the congestion problems that the game is suffering, that some people have not been able to log in. There has been an error that's been occurring called the 2002 error. That's what's commonly called, because that's the error code. That was a bug in the launcher, and that will be fixed with patch 6.1, which will be coming out somewhat soon for the game. That is where the launcher is resetting every 15 minutes and knocking people out of the queue. Luckily, when you log back in, the game saves your spot in the queue, so you don't lose your spot and you don't have to start over. Yoshi P has also announced that they're going to give extra free time. Before they gave 7 days of free access time. Now they're extending that to another 15 days of free access time as compensation for the login issues. They are suspending sales of both the physical and the digital versions of the game. They're suspending deliveries of the physical versions of the game, and they have also temporarily suspended the free trial, which allows you to play through the game to level 60 through the Heavensward expansion. Right. And so they hope to have this issue resolved at some point. Why it even occurred is because Square Enix just could not predict what was going to happen. And the thing that happened was Blizzard imploding. They did not see, or could not have possibly have seen, what happened to Blizzard, what happened with the company, the scandals that have been rocking the company and basically bringing work at Activision Blizzard to almost a complete standstill as to everything that's been going on. And also they could not have predicted the slow death of World of Warcraft and so many people leaving the game and coming over to Final Fantasy XIV. What really triggered a lot of the big changes that are likely resulting in these high queue counts is several high-profile World of Warcraft streamers like Asmongold switching over to Final Fantasy XIV. He hasn't completely left WoW, but he's playing Final Fantasy XIV now, and that's brought a lot of new players, several thousand, into the game. And so far, right now, officially, Final Fantasy XIV now has more active players than World of Warcraft. So, like it or not, Final Fantasy XIV is now the #1 MMO in the world. And if you haven't been able to get into the game, you won't be able to until they're able to resolve the issues of the chip shortage, being able to get enough servers, being able to bring on the new data center in Australia, the new Oceania data center, and the new servers, because it's not just one machine per server, it's actually several machines per server. Several zones are handled by individual machines. Final Fantasy XI, each server was at least 5 machines. And Final Fantasy XIV is a much bigger game than 11 ever was. So it could be dozens of machines per server. And so when they talk connecting to a data center and then connecting to a server to log into the game, you're actually going to a data center that has lots of machines for each server there. So you're gonna have to wait until you can get into Final Fantasy XIV if you haven't gotten into it yet. Our next news story, NFTs and cryptos in games. GSC Game World has announced that they are going to drop all NFTs in Stalker II. They were originally going to use NFTs as a way of making more money. One of the NFTs was going to be a way for you to get your likeness into the game. You would have had to travel to the Ukraine to get 3D scanned in order for them to generate a metahuman. They're using the Unreal Engine for that, but they would have to scan you in order to put your likeness into the game. But because of backlash from players on Twitter over this, because of complaining about NFTs and also complaining about the environmental impact of blockchains, they decided to back down. And so they will not be incorporating NFTs at all into Stalker II. The next news story. Yes. Speaking of European and Near Asian game developers, Czech developer Bohemia Interactive recently released screenshots of a new game engine that they're working on for a possible new version of Arma. The Infusion engine is capable of photorealistic graphics, and it's on par with what Unreal Engine 5 can do. Also, the code base the engine has been developed as such so that the same code base can be developed for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5 at the same time, so that they all share the same code base and the same assets, which simplifies development significantly. Whether or not they actually produce an Arma game that works on a console remains to be seen, but they have designed the engine so that the same code base can be used for all those platforms, simplifying development. Maybe this could be signaling that Bohemia is going to license their engine out. It's possible. I mean, it's as you can see here, the images are pretty impressive of what this engine is capable of doing. And it's possible that they could be working on an Arma 4 for this. Now, Arma is a very hardcore, super realistic military simulator. It's not like Call of Duty, it's not like Battlefield. This is very, very realistic in how it works, how it depicts military actions, weapons, and so I can't see that being done on a controller. But they could be looking to license this engine out for other developers who want to develop similar games or want to develop games for consoles. It's possible. I don't see Arma going to consoles because it uses a lot of mods. In fact, that's how DayZ came to be. DayZ was an Arma mod. That's how it was originally born. I believe also, I could be mistaken, correct me in the comments below, but PUBG was originally an Arma mod as well. And now, the Gamers Bay video game news is brought to you by the Gamers Bay community. Gamers Bay is more than just a channel that's dedicated to video games and mostly retro games. We're also a social media community on the privacy-focused Miwi platform. Miwi is a social media platform that you can access via PC or cell phone that doesn't collect data, they don't run ads, they don't sell your data. They make money strictly through optional subscription packages that get you a bunch of free emojis and access to their video and voice calling features. And we used to be on the original Google+. In fact, we were one of the oldest and largest of the gaming communities on Google+ for a long time, with over 12,000 members. Then Google sent Google+ to the graveyard, and we've had to basically start over. Recently, Gamers Bay on Miwi has celebrated reaching its 4,000th new member. So we're slowly recovering. So in the link in the description below, you'll find a link to Miwi, you'll find a link to the community. Join Miwi, join our community, and become a part of a growing family of gamers who just love to talk about video games. And now, to the news bites. Short news bites that I talk about at the end of the show. Bungie head of HR has left the company. She has left over the growing allegations of sexual misconduct at the company. So I guess it's Bungie's turn now. First it was Blizzard, and it was Activision Blizzard, the whole company, and now it's Bungie. Who else is going to get hit by this, I wonder? YouTube just recently announced that Minecraft videos have reached 1 trillion views. Most of those are song parodies. Minecraft song parodies, like Die Hard Ninja's Revenge. Valve Steam Deck, that's still on track for a 2022 release. That was delayed because of the global chip shortage. So that the handheld, which has been just completely sold out of its pre-orders, is still on track for a February release. Okay, ToeJam and Earl, Dynamite Heady, Sword of Vermilion, and Thunder Force 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack service, because Nintendo still doesn't know how to do online for some reason. And they apparently didn't think that their Virtual Console was a success, so now you have to pay extra for other stuff. Intel's upcoming gaming cards, their new ARC series gaming cards that are coming, that will compete with the 3060 and the 3060 and 3070 cards, will be up to possibly 10% cheaper than those cards. So not only will they be comparable in performance and have ray tracing, but they'll also be a little cheaper. So we'll finally have graphics cards that we can actually buy. And our last story, Xbox finally admits that how they handled Lionhead Studio was a big mistake. Focusing the company on developing games for the Kinect on the Xbox 360 was a huge mistake, and that basically doomed the company. And they were the company that was behind Fable. They're trying to bring Fable back, but they're doing it without the people from Lionhead who basically created the Fable magic. And I think they're running into problems with that. This is a message that basically says, oops, we screwed up. And that concludes video game news for this week. Mike TheZorch, this show came over from the Zorch Central channel. So it will be a weekly fixture here on Gamers Bay from now on. I'll be bringing you the interesting news stories and adding my little commentary to each one of them every week. So stay tuned every Saturday, and I'll bring you more news stories from the gaming world. I've been Mike TheZorch. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.